The Elgato Stream Deck's OBS integration got a huge overhaul, implementing a lot of features requested and built by the community. 5 years after the launch of the Stream Deck, they're still supporting it. I am over the moon about the support on this platform, on this tool, and how impressive that has been and how important it has been to my workflow and seemingly the workflow of many, including those in like professional broadcast fields. I've seen it on like non-streaming related desks where they just use it as controllers. It's wild. Let's jump into the update. So I didn't actually get a notification on my desktop about the update, and if that is the case for you, click the little settings cog and go to check for update. This is update 5.3 that we were talking about, specifically 5.3.1.15197, but that may be different when you get to it. Go ahead and install the update. That'll take a moment. Once you have relaunched the Stream Deck software after updating, you will scroll down and see that there are a bunch of new options under the OBS Studio category. By the way, we can now resize this window, which is lovely. We can also resize the property values, which we will look at in just a second. You can kind of see by looking at that here. Pretty nice. So we now have 10 new actions for the OBS Studio. Record pause, which pauses recording. I can trigger that now. Actually, I can't, because for whatever reason, in my OBS Studio installation, currently I have no pause recording option. I have no clue where it went. But that feature will work if you're on a normal version of OBS that somehow doesn't have that feature missing. We've got control over the replay buffer, whether it's just on, enabled or not, turned on or off. Obviously, you have to have it enabled in OBS Studio, so that's under your settings and output, replay buffer. You have to turn it on, set the size, blah, blah, blah. I have videos on this. I will try to link them below if I remember. So you have the option of turning that on or off to just start or stop the replay buffer. And then you have the option to actually save the replay buffer, which kind of saves an instant replay. Now, this is important because you can then create a multi-action. So your multi-action would be save replay buffer. You'll need it to already be enabled. Then turn it off, and then turn it back on. And this would be to emulate NVIDIA's Shadowplay, because unfortunately the difference between Shadowplay and OBS's replay buffer at the moment is that whenever you hit the save replay buffer key, it continues to save the last 30 seconds, even if it overlaps with footage you've already saved, which can be really annoying if you're trying to edit it together and don't want redundant footage, whereas Shadowplay doesn't, it clears the buffer once you've saved it once. And so this, you can set up a hotkey. You'll lose a bit of a second because the multi-action isn't super fast on the Stream Deck, but it's fast enough. So you can set this up as a multi-action, so you just press one button and it saves it and clears the buffer so that the next time you hit it, it's not going to have redundant footage. So that's really neat to see. You've got a button to switch scene collections entirely. This would be cool for setting up just general OBS profile switching buttons, but I can't imagine anyone's doing this midstream. That would cause a lot of things to break. You've got media source control. Now this one will let you control a specific media source file in which you can start it and stop it, which is really cool for playing videos like during a presentation or something like that over top your footage, which I absolutely love. More control to effectively just build more dynamic streams. I love stuff like that. Then you've got toggles for studio mode, which just switches OBS to studio mode. Pretty cool. Then you have preview to program. Now this is effectively like a transition button, because if you set it to studio mode, here I'll show you in my own view here. Because if you set OBS to studio mode, then you have your program monitor, which is what's actively going out to stream, and then you have your preview monitor, which is the next queued up scene. And if you just press a scene button, it then sends it to the preview monitor. It doesn't switch to that scene, and that gets kind of annoying. So this sends whatever you have queued up in preview over to program, which is just a nice button to be able to have, and then it effectively acts as a manual transition. But then you also have a button down here to actually set a specific transition. So you can set up multi-actions that allow you to select a specific transition before transitioning to a scene, which is really nice and kind of makes the use of like transition table and stuff kind of unnecessary, but also just kind of amplifies that workflow a little bit, which I absolutely dig. I know I'm saying that a lot. I'm sorry. This is just a really nice update. Then of course you have filter toggling, which is really cool because filter hotkeys are not a thing built into OBS. You need a dedicated script to set hotkeys to turn on and off filters, like the cool stuff we've showed off from Exeldro of like the time stop filter and stuff like that, and all the glitch art stuff I showed in that one video. So you now have a dedicated button for that, which is absolutely lovely. You got a screenshot button as well. Of course, I already showed off the resizable property inspector here. This is clutch. I'm glad they have it. I would love it if the buttons actually scaled as I drug this down just to make them bigger just for the fun of it, but that's fine. You can also now rotate your Stream Deck, which is really cool. I have tried doing this before and it's really disorienting trying to use it with upside down icons or manually resizing or rotating all your icons, but you go into settings and then you have device orientation for your specific device, and you've got 90 all the way to 270 degrees, which is pretty cool to see. By the way, set up sleep and or a screensaver and reduce your brightness on your Stream Decks if you haven't already. These things do burn out over time. It is just a normal screen. That's fairly normal. And take this opportunity to do it if you haven't already. There's also supposed to be a new multi-action delay. So if we go over here and create a new multi-action, I'll even do a switch because I hadn't tried that one before, and then we drag in a delay. Yeah, I don't seem to have the option. So they show, this is really bugging me. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I sent them a DM. If I hear back, we will edit it into the video. But in the Twitter preview, they show this really cool UI for the custom delays where you can control basically how long until it's pressed and then how long something happens after and a bunch of weird stuff like this. This doesn't exist in my Stream Deck app. I'm fully updated. I just have the good old delay. Like even if I search up here at the top, there's only one delay. I'm missing something, but you're supposed to be able to customize this here. If you have it when I don't, let me know because is weird. Is weird. I don't know what's going on. All right, your boy's an idiot. When you add a multi-action or multi-action switch to your Stream Deck and then add, for example, something to happen, there's a little timer icon that appears right next to the trash icon. You click that, and then you can choose the custom action delays based on when it switches from one action to the other and what happens when you press and let go of it. So you get that full flexibility there, which is really neat. But that's how you access it. It's not with the normal delays. I actually love this because you can set delays based on the individual actions instead of just between things, which is a lot better, IMO. By the way, your profiles for your Stream Deck automatically back up every time the app launches now, which is absolutely cool, and also means if you screw something up, you can kill a program and restart it, and everything should be, like you should be able to restore your backup, which is pretty cool. A very OBS Studio focused update, but a really awesome one regardless, because the fact that they are still supporting this after 5 years is a step above 90% of the streaming product company market in the first place, which is awesome. This tool is an invaluable asset if you do creative work of any kind, not just streaming. This is not an advertisement. But they're also implementing a lot of the features that BarRaider had to develop with the OBS Tools plugin. And if we take a look at that super quick here, I've installed it. You can go to the little plugin store right here. You can search for plugins and get cool stuff. A person by the name of BarRaider has developed a ton of OBS, or Stream Deck rather, plugins, and they developed an OBS Tools plugin, and pretty much all of these features were features in the OBS Tools plugin, but this one adds further extra things like setting specific source volumes, viewing the CPU usage specifically for OBS, interacting with browser sources, and then they do have a dropped frames indicator, but they don't have specifically an encoding lag or rendering lag indicator, which I would love to see either Elgato or BarRaider implement, but it has a bunch of extra features that you can just get for free to install alongside the new tools. But the fact that they implemented all this is really sick. Download it, of course, through the update manager. I don't have anything to link to you. If you want to see my coverage of the Stream Decks, through time, I will have a playlist linked in the video description, but let me know what your favorite feature is of the update in the comments below. And otherwise, if you want to learn more about streaming, how to use OBS, how to do cool advanced tricks, I have an exclusive Tutorial Tuesday series that I put up every week on my own streaming site, Nebula. This is a creator-focused, creator-owned website where my videos are higher quality, ad-free, and I have a bunch of exclusive content or extended versions of my videos. I'm trying to put as much extra content that I really can't squeeze onto YouTube as possible up there. And the best way to sign up for Nebula is with the power bundle that we've built with CuriosityStream. CuriosityStream is a streaming site full of thousands of entertaining and documentary content, like, for example, Cracking the Code, a series about code breakers throughout history and their important role throughout wars and major political events. Really cool series, and they wanted to partner up with Nebula and form a power alliance where you get both sites, CuriosityStream and Nebula, for under $15 per year with our exclusive, Nebula bundle here. That's $14.79 for both sites for an entire year, and you get everybody on Nebula, not just me. You get everybody's awesome content. You got Thomas Frank, Legal Eagle, Low Spec Gamer, Renee Ritchie. There's so many of us on top of the specific streaming stuff you're going for because you're watching my video, right? Over at curiositystream.com/epos. It's the best deal in streaming. Don't wait. And don't forget to remember, I'm leaving that in the video. Be kind, rewind.